Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I wanted to thank everybody for getting me to 100 subscribers too. That's pretty cool. Today I wanted to talk about the CCA CRA and the CRA Plus. The original CRA is one of my favorite, probably my favorite budget earphones. I actually want to talk about that first. So this will be a comparison video, but I want to talk about this first. So for under $15 with a microphone, and the microphone works really well. This, to me, it's different, but you could argue that it's in the ballpark of quality that you get with a Moondrop Aria or the 10T3 Plus. It's got its own flavor. It's different. Not saying it's exactly the same, but in its own way, it can compete. For at least my time, it doesn't just sound like everything else out there. And what's great about the CC CRA is that the way that it's marketed, it says it's got some kind of thin diaphragm driver or something like that. I believe it because it sounds incredibly fast, incredibly detailed. The only thing that you don't get is really like a heavy note weight with it. So it does feel a little bit shallow, like you don't have a lot of deep character to the sound that you get from vocals or from bass. But the trade-off is you get this really awesome bass that kind of sounds like it's like everything's strummed on an old like some kind of big stand-up bass like you'd have in an orchestra is how it sounds to me. It's a very unique sound, so it's very deep, but it's also very fast to decay, and it sounds really interesting in that it's like all sub bass, but not in a big rumbly way. It's in a very clean way that is really pleasing to the ear. And because it's tuned that way, I believe the treble is boosted a little bit as well, but you get really good clarity with your mids and your treble. And that, like, I'll listen to like detailed orchestral movie soundtrack kind of stuff because I get a kick out of it. And it's also good to show the chops of a headphone. I don't know anything around $15. Even the Aria and T3 Plus, I think this resolves better in terms of detail, quickness, being able to give you all the little details, even when a track gets really busy on, say if you've got bass, you've got sub bass going, you've got mids, and then you've got tinkly treble and all kinds of things happening at the same time, like what you get with some of these more complicated tracks. This can keep up with it, which also makes it a good option for, say, like if you want to use it for, say, like metal that's very fast, complicated with bass and guitars and all kinds of speed, things like that. This can keep up like better than anything else that I've used up to 100. I haven't used the Dunyo Titan S yet, but I mean, I think this is one of the best values in hi-fi. The only thing that you don't get is that note weight, and it also, what was the other thing I was going to say about it? You don't get that note weight in the treble, as it can be a little spicy, but I'm a little treble sensitive and I don't sense any like outrageous peaks. It doesn't hurt my ears. It just feels like, just you're getting a lot of detail. It's not super fatiguing. I'll say that. So this was one of my favorite sets that I've got for cheap. And, if I had $20 and that's all I could ever spend on hi-fi, this might be what I spent it on. And this is the CCA CRA Plus, which I was excited about. And just as soon as I heard the name of it, I bought it. So I was just interested because it wasn't that expensive. So as you can see, they look just about identical, except this one's in gold. I don't know if this might be something to keep in mind. You see this color versus this? I almost think that this was this color when it came. So maybe this yellow is pretty fast. So maybe that's just something to keep in mind. But when you look at them, they're identical. The sound, though, it was hard. I spent a lot of time listening to these because I was trying to put into words what I was hearing. And I know on the graphs it basically shows that it gets rid of a little bit of the bass and it tones down the highs a little bit. But what I get out of it is you kind of lose the magic of the CCA CRA. The Plus gives you like it doesn't feel as light on its feet. It doesn't feel as fast. It doesn't feel as clean. The bass, although it can be satisfying, like if you listen to EDM and stuff on this, it sounds good. And it's a little, I'd say, like more defined than the CCA CRA, but it also doesn't have that distinctive kind of punchy, clean quality that I really enjoyed on this one. It it just kind of feels like another IEM, you know. And where on this one, on the original, it felt, you know, you didn't have a lot of note weight, but it feels clean and fast and really detailed and interesting. The treble, it's like, you know, just really low calorie. Like it just feels like you get what you need and that's all. In this, it is a little easier on the ears in the sense of the treble not feeling quite as spicy. But again, it feels like you lose a little bit of the magic of what made it special. This just kind of feels like just another IEM. Like it feels like some of the early KZs that I got, and it just, I mean, there's no reason why I would specifically pick these up unless they were the only things that I had. And I wouldn't hate them, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to them. They give you good bass. They give you fairly, you know, decent. Everything's just kind of decent. It's like they just kind of took, you know, they kind of took everything that was risky about this guy and just made it into kind of a boring, kind of middle of the road, takes no risk kind of device. And I'm just not a huge fan, especially because like when I bought his 35, I think they're going on sale for under 30 now. But I think this, like I literally got for like $15 with a mic delivered, and the mic is usable. So like you could literally use this as a gaming headset and be happy with the performance, I feel like, out of it. Where for double the price, not only is this not, I don't think, worth it, but it's also, I don't even think better. Like I would prefer, if I just could choose one of these to listen to, I'd probably choose the original one. So I'm not getting into graphs and all those kind of things, but in terms of, I mean, you guys have probably all seen that. Anybody that's watching this has probably, you know, compared them. What they were trying to do is pretty obvious, but I think they made a mistake. I think, from what I've heard, I don't even think it's the same driver, so they're kind of going for the same sound, but they wanted to improve it. I don't think that this is an improvement. I think that this feels like they made a lot of compromises on this, and you end up with just kind of a middling performance where there's nothing special. There's no reason why I would say to get these. There's nothing special about them other than, you know, say like if I didn't have anything to listen to and I just happened to wander by. So, you know, I'm out and about and I just needed a pair of headphones, and I could see I grabbed these off a shelf for $30. I'd probably be happy that I found them out in the wild. But when you've got access to everything on the value end and on the higher end that I do, there's just no reason I would use these except for, you know, I might keep these aside and hand them to somebody if they're in need of some headphones. But other than that, I can't imagine a reason why I'd ever specifically grab these. So it's just a quick overview. It's a little love letter to the CRAs. These are still probably my favorite $15 in hi-fi. Probably do a video at some point talking about just how many good options there are under $20, but this is right up there with the best of them. And I don't recommend that you pick these up. If you can spend something in the $30 range, I think the Leas are probably you know, a better choice. And then if you can spend a little bit more than that, you start getting into a lot better options. So anyway, thank you for watching. Again, I appreciate the subscribers. Thank you for all your support. And if there's anything I can help with, please leave a message below, and I would be glad to give you any feedback that I got.